Weapon wasn't your mech.
It was me.
Then, Semon, I'm taking you in brightest day, in blackest.
Okay, 1v1 fight.
No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power.
Green light and light. Oh! Right, guys, we're back yet again, watching another death battle between Semon, the Digger, versus Green Lantern, or aka White Lantern. I don't know how you're gonna put it across, but hey, this is how it's gonna go. To be honest, my predictions are not really in a good state because Green Lantern, sure, might be overpowered, but you gotta understand, with willpower comes strength. And Semon, holy crap, does he have a lot of it. So, if you do enjoy the video and do leave a like and subscribe. So, let's watch your death battle. Alright, let's go. Hell yeah.
Semon the Digger, Kyle Rayner, the White Lantern. Two men born of Earth with the willpower.
Why does that guy look like Ben 10?
Conquer infinity. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a
death battle.
Deep underground, Jiha Village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their.
I don't remember this anime really well. I really need to rewatch this anime. Holy.
Who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last? Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Semon. He was there too, I guess.
Semon was a digger, content to drill endlessly through the dirt.
He was 21?
The day he found the core drill.
A key that activated the mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagan. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a life in the dark.
But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity.
I don't know why. This animal was way too high.
And as befits Kamina and Semon's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and Lagan merged, creating Gurren Lagan.
Gurren Lagan.
The body and Semon the head, these two were unstoppable.
Of all the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history, Gurren Lagan might just be the absolute coolest, fueled by its
Yeah, that's the honest truth.
and capable of making any weapon they can imagine,
Including missiles.
There's that, and then there's the one from 0 2, I think.
And of course,
drills, wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku. Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like,
Well, what do you expect?
or something, my whole personality.
with Gurren Lagan's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome.
Until Kamina died. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that was the unexpected
Was
part.
that supposed to happen?
But yeah, sorry, spoilers.
It was all Semon's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price. After all, he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit.
So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Semon who believes in you. Damn.
Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole time. It was Semon who found Lagan, Semon who pierced the surface, and Semon who would now
Well, it is fact, though.
lead to victory.
Especially with his gal pal Nia at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral attacked.
Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens, the anti-spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the spiral nemesis.
Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that
Honest, I did not know that part.
beings like humans have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah.
Just as the spiral turned inward represents endless obsession and
Yes, no, those gravity pulse was sick.
outward spins forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential.
Potential Semon would use as he led Team Dai Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight to the anti-spiral. And this is when Gurren Lagann gets
This is the part where I don't get. How did it get to this point?
Constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Semon can create portals to different
can
realities
adapt?
and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating
Well, damn.
Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to
What
shift
happened to Deus?
time with a punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions. All within
What?
an instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light.
Holy!
Oh, well.
He's overpowered.
Wins the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history. Congratulations.
Yes, it is.
Move over, SpongeBob. You've been dethroned. Oh, and the guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast
You're
that is.
joking.
It wasn't enough to escape the Anti-Spiral's greatest trap, the Multiverse Labyrinth, an attack that imprisons Semon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Semon and
no.
his spiral power are just built different. And after being inspired by his bro, Semon absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Semon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size and scope.
What?
Oh, we're just getting started.
Holy!
A two-dimensional drawing interacting with a three-dimensional person.
Okay. That's not too far
Okay.
off from what actually happened.
Because when Semon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Semon who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Semon real, adding another to the mix.
Oh
Wait, if
gosh.
every human being has spiral power, you're telling me we can all do this shit?
This all gave our Semon enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This is when Gurren Lagann
Oh god.
is fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that alter probabilities so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Semon's power
What?
was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Semon turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does
Berkeley-
he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing
Instantly.
it back into existence.
Like when
Holy.
used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown, or the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level for 7 days straight.
Information in physics is essentially the ones and
Holy.
zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
If I have spiral power, whiz, when the fuck is my leg growing back?
When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Semon evolved one more time.
Into
To what extent now?
Toppa Gurren Lagann!
What about the days Ex Machina? Okay, I am. Oh wow. So, Gurren, is this overpowered? What?
Mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a drill somehow even larger than that, Semon and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
Hey, cruel indifference of the universe! Meet the indomitable human spirit!
Proving Kamina's words prophetic, that Semon's drill is the drill that would pierce the heavens.
With no more
Which
worlds
practically destroyed the entire universe.
for the rest of his days, in service to others.
Always looking up. For all the lights in the sky are stars, and every star another world of spiral cousins that can live free.
All thanks to a humble digger.
Holy man, I really need to rewatch that anime.
The universe universe is a dangerous place.
Green
Should you find
Lantern.
yourself face to face with an interdimensional vampire, alien dictators, or this one really pissed off cat, you know who to call.
The Green Lantern Corps. They're the Space Fuzz, an intergalactic police force.
Sparkly Men in Black, but basically Green Lantern aliens.
And the greatest Green Lantern among them was everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan.
You know him. You love him. You might hate him.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Gotta respect the man with a will as unbreakable as Hal's.
Until the day his will broke.
After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged through the Corps, killing everyone in his path and absorbed.
I remember watching this movie version.
The literal Green Lantern.
Becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax.
There was only one survivor of Parallax's killing spree, Ganthet. And with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human, Kyle Rayner.
So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable willpower like Hal was?
He was just there. He had no idea what was going on. Must feel good being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your own. Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck, Space Wheat, and a sentient box can master it, what's your excuse, Kyle?
The Green Lantern ring can
It'll
do
make sense with the
anything
box
and
anyways,
any
but hey.
wish its user desires, as though it were a genie from a lamp.
It lets you fire energy blasts, create force fields, affect gravity, turn invisible and intangible, manipulate matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence.
Think we're exaggerating? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very
Okay.
fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's like stretching an inch into a light year.
Lanterns control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a speed force singularity.
Tapping into the speed force
Oh,
requires
Sparkly is the
entering a
Flash's
higher dimension of
powers?
space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. And the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast,
Would you look at that?
protecting its user from danger.
That comes in handy.
The time that Boozer Kilowog survived being erased from existence by the crisis on Infinite Earths.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
While Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the Corps, Kyle's imagination is unmatched. Probably because he's a comic
Likely-
book artist.
yeah, makes
We know
sense.
from this show, they think of some wild shit.
But the Green Lantern's most recognizable ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots. Hey, that one looks familiar.
Kyle can make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait, 0.3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, this could be a little bit of an issue.
Limited to 24
Gurren is actually
So
11.
it can blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone. Never mind, that's the
Yeah.
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
That's another thing that
I'd
might
say
take
Kyle's
advantage,
biggest
or Gurren
weakness
might take
was
advantage.
Kyle. With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Kyle wasn't
What?
the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope called fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male character's development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Kyle finally...
No way.
He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet from an emotional lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
There are
No
7
way.
colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls.
Red is rage,
No
ripping
way.
out Kyle's heart and replacing his blood with napalm, which sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing
practically
his opponent's
can
will to
infinitely
fight
recharge
and
his
letting him open
side-
portals
his ring?
across space, connecting him to others.
The final one was the Sapphire Light of Love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds. But Kyle only mastered it
Okay.
by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Oh, self-love. I get it. Must be nice. And with their powers combined, he doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a White Lantern with total control
Okay.
over the power of life.
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other lantern in existence.
Far stronger
sense.
than hell. Who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse?
Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, the white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation, like the
No way.
Okay, so it's not totally.
Go to that extent.
Especially after Kyle visited the source and acquired the life equation. Essentially the source code to reality, the life equation is mathematical proof that life is worth
Green Lantern, wait, White Lantern might win.
Of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid.
The life equation, like its counterpart, the anti-life equation, is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that the equation made Kyle too powerful.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest
Uh-oh.
weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole life struggling with the power that the
He
gods
had to fight his own
granted.
innate demons.
Throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together,
Okay.
they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
But with the power
Makes
of
sense.
life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings.
You know later, but anyways.
All right, the combatants.
Alright then, let's do this.
Through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle.
Death battle! Hit it with it. So I bet is going to Green Lantern. Because, why not? But still, Gurren could do something. Oh, he caught it.
Hey, dude. Green Lantern
He's wearing
Officer
the-
Kyle Rayner here.
He's wearing the
You've got a
Brenton outfit.
galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Gurren Lagann's mine, officer. Just who the hell do you think you are?
Wait, is that DJ? Hold on. Okay, that was weird.
I'm told I'm bad with authority.
Tell me about it. 4.
No way they just did that.
That's nothing! My drill will pierce the heavens!
Damn. Willpower activate. I don't know why. Each time. Okay, went a little bit overboard, a little bit. Oh, nice. Would you look at that? He has his own mech. Wait, that's Superman?
That's really cool.
I'm a lantern. We do the impossible.
See the invisible.
Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you
Damn, this is going lit.
Now you know.
Wait, oh yeah, it automatically targets him even though in other dimensions. Who the hell are they?
Digger, if there's a wall in my way, I'll smash it down!
Damn! Yep. Here goes the bull crap.
Stop fighting. Think about your fear of death, your love of your friends, your compassion for me, your hope for the future. Choose life. Have faith in the Semon
Hold on.
that believes in you.
No. Don't do it. No way. No way. No freaking way. Oh, bro. I'm sorry. This is too high. Oh! They broke infinity. They literally broke infinity.
The super weapon wasn't your mech. It was me. Then, Semon, I'm taking you in brightest day, in blackest.
Okay, 1v1 fight.
No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power.
Green light and light. Oh!
Let's see you grit those teeth!
No way. Oh, yo. No way. No freaking way.
A good lantern.
Semon of Earth, you have been chosen.
No way he won! No way he won! No way! No way!
The guy with the snazzy sunglasses.
When both combatants possessed unlimited power,
No way!
judge them by our normal standards. Take speed. Semon can hit an infinite number of targets all at once, and Kyle can fly fast enough to surpass the normal concept of speed itself.
When you control space and time, things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Instead, let's analyze them
Hey,
through a
this was way too high.
beings as absurd as Semon and Kyle. Their imagination, their willpower, and their ultimate potential.
First up,
Okay, cool.
imagination. The boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could, like absorbing each other's attacks, fighting across time, anything.
Semon did have a few attacks that Kyle hasn't encountered, like the probability-altering missiles, but it's likely Kyle could adapt considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
And in general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more
Yeah,
creative.
makes sense.
Versatile, which was mostly drills. Though again, nothing Semon couldn't adapt to with, say, his energy absorption. Imagination is a draw.
That leaves the other
That's one
main
thing.
factor for both characters, the origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
Willpower.
That's really
That where Simon gets it.
here, since it's the source of everything for both of them. Whoever's got the stronger willpower wins.
Both can manipulate reality on a multiversal scale with their willpower, but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond the pale as Semon and Kyle.
The multiverse
Yeah,
labyrinth
basically.
that Semon absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions. That's 1.3 dimensions less than the multiverse Kyle's power can threaten.
And remember, each numbered dimension infinitely surpasses the one below it.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level. However, that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the edge, because if there's one thing both of these guys are known for, it's that they can always get stronger.
So to determine the limits of their willpower, we first need to understand their full potential.
The
Potential.
whole deal with spiral power is how he can constantly evolve to get stronger. So just because Semon starts off weaker doesn't mean he'll stay that way.
Absorbing the
Fair
multiverse
point.
labyrinth required Semon to leapfrog several orders of infinity in an instant. Semon made himself that much stronger through sheer force of will.
More than enough to close the gap with Kyle, especially since spiral power also lets him regenerate his body down to an informational level. Kyle's never destroyed something that thoroughly before.
Without the
Fair
ability
point.
to easily kill Semon, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring
Yeah, exactly. Ran out of battery.
Especially since Semon could likely regenerate for at least a week straight, like Nia did. While Blue Lantern Light could boost Kyle's power, he's never jumped several orders of infinity in strength like Semon has.
And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simon's willpower, Simon resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw at him.
Everything, that is, except
Correctly.
the life equation. It originated from a higher level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Too bad Kyle couldn't control it. It was just as much a detriment to him as an asset, forcing him
Yeah,
to really
that would have been a way to win.
destroying reality and himself.
Compare that to Semon, who merged with a version of himself writing a version of Gurren Lagann, and using spiral power to make that fiction into
The
reality.
reality.
A similar level of reality to the life equation, and a level of power Simone had no trouble embracing and mastering by the end of his story. No matter how you look at it, Simone might start weaker, but his peak will always transcend Kyle's. Isn't that
Makes
how
sense.
all of Simone's battles usually go anyway? That's
Yeah,
good
basically.
in a nutshell.
So Simon's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle may
Yeah,
have embodied life
makes
itself,
sense.
but Simon's unstoppable evolutionary potential would shatter even this lantern's light.
I hope Kyle at least dug the fight, because when it comes to death battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner is Semon the Digger.
Bro, that was way too hype.
Death battle.
Okay, who's next here? Oh no. Don't tell me it's literally Looney Tunes versus Tom and Jerry versus Looney Tunes.
Subscribe and join.
Wally Coyote versus Tom and Cat? From Tom and Jerry? This is gonna be interesting. Anyways guys, this was the video on Death Battle. I did not expect our boy to win. To be honest, the only thing that actually got me was the fact that he could lose because of the power up that Green Lantern has. You know, and then all of a sudden when it clicked to me after then I realized about willpower. I'm like, crap. Gurren can literally willpower through all of that. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. But hey, that was pretty hype. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video in the end, this was Gurren versus White Lantern. To be honest, this was way too hype. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Dare.